They began in 2020 as a husband and wife team, Jeff and Chrissy Snowden. It was born out of a calling to provide online worship for churches during the first COVID lockdown in Australia. With an overwhelming response from both local churches and people all around the world, they decided to record some of the songs they'd written and to become a worship duo. And since then, they have been joined by singer-songwriter Carrie Button and have led worship locally, interstate, and to global online audiences such as us here at Red's Room. From Australia, please welcome the one, the only, the talented, wonderful, all the adjectives here. Enter worship. Hello, everyone. Welcome in tonight. How is everyone doing on this Saturday for you all out there?
It's a very cold Saturday for us here.
Winter, raining.
Yeah, let's say you guys, opposite hemisphere, you guys are heading towards winter
Yeah,
over
pretty much.
there as we are heading towards the peak of summer over here.
Yeah.
Hence the Uggies.
Yeah.
Socks
You
and
got the yeah. So how give us an idea how warm or not did it get over there in your part of the world today?
we're usually sitting between 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is Fahrenheit, but it's cold.
I think it's in the 50s. I think it's
Okay.
probably it smells 50s.
Yeah,
Which is chilly. Definitely, it's not. I mean, it's not frigid, but it's
No,
just
it's not
chilly.
freezing.
It's
Don't
just
get the
chilly.
freezing here. We're in a place called Newcastle, which is about 2 hours or an hour and a half, 2 hours north of Sydney. So it's
Okay.
I was going to say it's a coastal town, but it's more like a coastal city. So we have beaches. The summer is amazing here in Newcastle.
I
Lots of
imagine.
sun,
Yeah.
40, 38 to 40 degrees Celsius. Gets very
Whew.
hot. So we have to
Yeah.
go to the beach every day. It's a
Tough
religion. Other than Christianity, the second religion in Newcastle is going to the beach.
Yeah.
And yeah, so winter not so good, summer very good.
Yeah. Gotta get to that little thing called winter to get to the payoff.
Yeah,
It's
right.
kind of how it is around here. You got to endure a couple months of rainy, but once the payoff hits,
Yeah,
it hit. Bob's from the Northwest. He knows what I'm talking about as
yeah.
far as
I just said that
getting through that.
it's raining outside.
We're,
Right.
we're heading towards the payoff. You're heading towards
The not so
the
payoff.
the not so payoff. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's great to have you guys here. What's been keeping you busy musically here in the last little bit of time since you last were on Red's Room here?
We haven't really done a lot musically since we were on last, I don't think, because Jeff and I bought a house. So,
Congratulations.
Thank you. So just to clarify, Jeff, Chrissy, and Kerry's down the end there.
Hi guys, on the
Um,
third wheel.
No, no.
no, she's
No.
part of our family.
I was going to say like a really
You're
squeaky
you
in a good way.
keep in mind, I didn't say any of those things.
Yeah, no, okay.
That's
we've
why
got
Sid-
a we've got a tremendous trio here on our midst there.
We do, and I must say, I mean, we've all three of us have had a lot of challenges over the last probably 12 months or so, and it's been a really interesting time. Sort of being on a more serious note, we've really had to force our pressing into God in a lot of ways, and it's been really challenging. And I went through burnout a couple of years ago. Now I ended up mowing lawns for somebody, and then got made redundant, and then I've been mowing lawns for myself, and then found out I've got some severe back issues, and
Oh
there's a bit of
man.
weakness in my back, and the discs not looking good, and my GP was talking potential back surgery. Chrissy's been doing great, but having to carry the weight of, the burden of that, and low incomes, and with that, and Kerry's had some challenges in her own way too, and so but we just coming
Prayers for
into
all
it.
of you in that.
Yeah, we just sort of feel like now that we've got ourselves settled, and just today even, and when we do one of the songs called Comfort Chair, this chair, I'm not sitting on the throne, I'm sitting in a comfort chair, which is perfect for my back because literally I can't sit on a stool without being in significant pain. So although been some challenges there, we see God's faithfulness, and Liz, that message was
Amen.
perfect timing for us. So thank you
Right.
so much, God, about God's faithfulness, and we just love how God works in people's lives, and how being unconnected, there's still a message and a word for not just those of us who are playing, but those who are listening in. So we're looking forward to the season that God's bringing. And with our new sort of home studio, it's the first time in 13 years we've been able to have things set up permanently. So we're really excited about the future. Stressed about it too. And
Well,
maybe conversation.
prayers for you all as you navigate this season. Truly, honestly, many blessings to you all as you navigate this time. Prayers for continued healing for you, Jeff, as well, as you navigate this. You guys have collectively come together as a tremendous trio to bless us in a time of worship. You have a 4-song set to share with us tonight. Song number 1. What do you guys have to share tonight?
The song we're going to do is called Walk on Water, and it's a song about Jesus walking on the water, but also about Peter, asking to go and walk with him. And it's just a song about posturing our heart towards the miraculous.
Amen. And to worship here in Richmond.
Healing and miracles flowing from my life. I want the world to see that Jesus is alive. I want to walk on water. I want to walk with you. I have authority to walk in greater things. Jesus, lead the way. I am stepping. I want to walk on water. I want to walk with you. I want to walk on water. I want to walk with you. Nothing's greater, nothing's better than when I'm by his side. There's no power like his presence. Jesus is alive in me, alive in me. When I see Jesus walking on the other side, I want to walk to him, I trust him. I want to walk on water. I want to walk with you. When I'm afraid and start to doubt and overthink, I know that he will catch me, he won't let me sink. I want to walk on water. I want to walk with you.
Walk on water, enter worship right here. Some smooth worship sounds there here on Red's Room. Great song, says Rob. There's Bianca, our resident Australian music enjoyer there. Wow, love this song, as I pretty much expected. There you go. Great to have everyone tuning in tonight here on Red's Room. Monica says, marvelous trio. Yes, Shiloh song music, Aussies with a heart. Yes, indeed. Good stuff there. Musical influences, individually, collectively. You got a couple that automatically stand out for any of you there.
Eric Clapton, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd,
Okay.
a bunch of Christian artists, probably Striper.
All right. Yeah. I know a good friend of mine that's a
Actually, I got an interview-
huge
I actually got an
Striper
interview
fan.
a couple of years ago on radio. That was pretty cool for me, given they were one of the first bands. Cliff Richard as well for me going back in the day. What about
Okay.
you, ladies?
Well, I was always a massive U2 fan.
Oh,
And then
okay.
and then when I went into my 20s, I started listening to a little bit more folk and blues and country. And yeah, so it's probably what's influencing my writing more as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, I probably grew up more in the sort of country genre. My dad had a country music band, so he had me up on stage when I was 5 years old. So hence my country twang.
Yeah, we just get country music in Australia. We don't get country and western. It's just
No.
It's just country.
yeah, it's just country.
Is it, we're talking country, is it pretty similar to like the country music you would hear over here in the States, or is it pretty different when we're talking? Is there differences culturally when we're talking about genres, or not really?
I think it's funny because we've got a couple of country artists here who they keep their Aussie accent when they're singing as well. And yeah, and it's like, yeah, that's obviously really different to
Oh, that's
American
got to be
country.
priceless. Yeah.
But I think for the most part, we copy Americans. So
Yeah.
a lot of our country music still sounds like American country music.
Actually, yeah, we just had, you've got The Voice and, American Idol shows. We've
Yeah.
got them here in Australia. We just had one called The Voice, and a young girl by the name of Denver was doing country, and her vocals is like almost, it sounds very, very, very American country western. For those of you who have heard of Keith Urban,
Mhm.
one of the most well-known Aussie country western stars, probably one of the few.
Yeah.
I don't think you've heard of guys like Troy Cassadaly. There's not a lot of Australian exports who have done well in country, but we know in Australia, for folk genres, for Chrissy, it's a bit of a fine line between sort of country and folk, and the risk for those who prefer that folk genre in Australia is if you go into the country, once you go country, you never go back. As an artist, it's like in that genre in Australia, you're a country artist. That's it.
Once you cross that forbidden
Yeah,
door, there, the genre, it's
Fine.
you're there.
yeah, yeah.
And we find in Australia, it's like people either love or hate country.
Yeah.
There's no in
There's
between.
no.
Massive country music festival in a place called Tamworth, about a couple of hours from here north. So, like, there is a real interest for country music. So, I know regional Australia quite gets into it, but I guess that's probably more of a, almost stylistically, we're still probably more folk when it comes
Yeah.
to our worship style. Acoustic guitars, electrics, and I play a bit of mandolin as well and some harmonica. So as a trio, although we do worship, I guess for those who may not have heard of us before, that sort of almost folk worship would be a genre in itself that we created.
No, I mean, I love it. There's a lot of actually there's a lot of folk type worship over here in the States. I mean, there's a lot of, especially on the indie music scene. Kind of Andrew Peterson, Sky Peterson kind of comes to mind along that folk line. You know, I guess you could say Rich Mullins had a lot of like folk type of songs in there too. There's a lot of people who um Well, there's beginning, especially in the indie scene. There's a lot of folk and bluegrass type of influences in a number of like the worship. There's actually a group called Bluegrass Worship out here, actually. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, in here in the States. So there's definitely a little bit of something in the worship for everyone. So there's a lot of good folk and type of music over here. So um I I gelled with your guys' style as soon as I heard it. So that's good stuff there. You can definitely tell there's a little bit of that calm folk influence with just the first song we've heard, obviously. Second song that you guys have tonight. What do you guys have to share with us this evening?
Yeah, so this one's called In My Skin, and it's a song I wrote a few years back, really about just sort of losing and finding yourself, I guess. And for me, it was more when I got married and became a mum, I sort of lost my identity a little bit as a songwriter. And yeah, and it's more really because of just, you've got no time left. And I used to write late at night. I used to write into, the early hours of the morning, and that was my best time for writing. And then, it wasn't going to work when you've got a little kid coming in at 6 in the morning. So
Can I just add with that in context? So Chrissy, we got married. Help me out here, babe. Don't just look at me like you're waiting for an answer.
You want to know the year that we got
Yeah,
married?
that'd be great. That'd be great. I'm just testing you. But my first wife had passed away, so I had a 3-year-old when we got married. So Chrissy, when she says she became a wife and mother, that was literally an overnight thing for her. And I ended up having to travel, work probably for the first two. Bobby, in the first 6 months, 2 months of that, I was traveling. And so Chrissy, so when she says that challenge there, and she's a great mum, and my stepdaughter or her stepdaughter, sorry, loves her, and Chrissy's, we've had a child of ours. So, being a mum, it was a massive shock for Chrissy, going from being a single woman, singer songwriter, very involved in the church, to all of a sudden having a 3-year-old who was looking to her and loving her and challenging her, and a husband who was having to travel for work. So,
I
a
mean,
lot of
yeah, I mean, I bet there's a huge difference there, especially when, you skip right over years 1 and 2 in the newborn stage. No, you just went right to year 3. Skipped right over the terminals. You went right to year 3, and I'm sure it can change your world in a matter of moments. And so I'm sure he stepped
Yeah.
up to the task rather well. And thank you for obviously for sharing the context of that, Jeff. And
That's funny. Like, yeah, there were funny moments. Like when we, in the first month or something, I'd be like, "Oh, do you want to?" And this was in the days where you actually went out to a video store and hired a video.
VHS.
And I was like,
be
"Hey,
kind, rewind. Yes.
Yeah.
and Jeff, it was like, yeah, okay, well, like I'll go get it." And I said, I'll come. And he's like, "Oh, how about Emily, who's in bed?"
She's asleep like the child. You have to
Oh, whoops.
in the house with the child by the.
She'll be fine.
And I was like, "Oh yeah, we've got a kid." Yeah. So, but but I mean, back to the song. It's also about just, that journey of being with God as well, and sometimes, feeling like you've lost your way a bit, and so this song is sort of about coming, Him guiding us back to Him as well.
Amen. Inner worship right here on Red's Room.
By the way, my hands are really cold, so I just need to warm it up for a sec.
I would often buy these little heat packs, chemical heat packs for Chrissy when we go to churches, because it'd be so cold, and she'd have to sit there with the heat packs to warm her hands in the mornings before playing.
Okay, here we go.
I was wandering around the bend to a place that seemed to have no end. was drifting out to sea, always looking back but losing me. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. I got so lost, but you came to find me, turned me around and brought me back from sea. You shone your light and showed me the way back home. Your love has saved me, and it's there for everyone. Your arms are open, no matter what we've done. You are the lifeboat, offering life to all. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. I was looking good to all, always showing up and on the ball. I was really dying within. I was not that happy in my skin. In my skin. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. I got so lost, you came to find me, turned me around and brought me back to see. You shone your light, showed me the way back home. Your love it saved me, and it's there for everyone. Your arms are open, no matter what we've done. You are the light, offering life to all. Oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh.
Oh yeah, that is Enter Worship right here on Red's Room. Here as we're rounding out this Friday night, a good Saturday afternoon for those of you in Australia. Of course, I think it's about let's see if my conversions. It's about 2 o'clock-ish out there in the afternoon on a Saturday, give or take.
Good. 20, so that's really good.
Yeah, 2:20-ish, give or take.
Yeah.
Ha! There we go.
Sorry, I just saw a comment there from is it Bianca? I was dancing. That's so cool.
I do my best over here. There you go. It's Enter Worship here on this Red's Room. So well rehearsed, so beautiful, says Olga. Just love your sound. Beautiful, says Monica. Great to have everyone joining us on the Facebook land. Couple more songs left to go here on this Friday night here on Red's Room. We hope that this evening has blessed you tremendously in your evening. Third song, what do you all have to share with us this evening?
This is called Comfort Chair, and I just worked out the other night that this is nearly 20 years old. I couldn't believe, that's been 20 years since I wrote this. But it's actually the title track of an album that I recorded. So it's called Comfort Chair, and it's what Jeff was talking about with this chair here. He got this for free off Marketplace, and when he saw this, he's like, "Oh, that's the comfort chair that's on the cover of Chrissy's album. I've got to get it." I
love it. I'm so happy that Chrissy doesn't like sitting on it trying to play guitar, because when I'm not playing, I can sit back and chill and relax. And I really love this chair. It's so good. I don't know if I'm going to get out of it at some point, but
You might just stay there all evening, right?
I'll just stay in my comfort chair. I guess that's the whole purpose, the whole point of the song, isn't it? Though we get stuck in our comfort
You're playing comfort chair in your comfort chair.
Yeah.
They see what you did there. Okay.
Yeah, good segue,
Good
to the
segue
meaning
too.
of the song.
So to tell
Now, it depends. Is there multiple layers of the song? Is what you're trying to say? Or are we dealing with this metaphorically, literally, philosophically? Are we just coming at this song from all angles now?
Well, yeah, I think there are different levels. I actually wrote it when I'm pretty sure it was 2004, this tsunami that happened in Thailand, and I remember exactly where I was because we were on a holiday, and I was in this caravan or whatever it was, and I was sitting on the bed and looked up at the TV, and that came on the news, and I had my guitar there, and I was just thinking, how I was just thinking about people going over to help them, and thinking that, oh, maybe I could do something, but like, wow, it would be so out of my comfort zone to do that. But then my next thought went to how many things are out of my comfort zone just in my life, in general, and how, sometimes we, even when we feel fearful, often we just feel this prompt, and it's God going, you need to do this thing, and we need to just push through our fears and get out of our comfort zone. So that's where this came from.
Time to get out of our comfort chairs. Besides Jeff, you can stay in your comfort chair. We give you permission. Here's Enter Worship right now.
What's happening in the world today? Can I find the courage not to stay sitting here in my comfort chair? I wanna move, but I don't know where. I wanna be part of the solution, yeah. I wanna be part of the solution, yeah. Trying to be humanitarian, trying to make a change from what it's been. Starting here in my own backyard, even if the challenge seems too hard. I wanna be part of the solution, yeah. I wanna be part of the solution, yeah. I wanna move, I wanna change. Thank God you won't let me stay the same. The walls of injustice I wanna break. Let's tear them down for heaven's sake.
stuff there from Enter Worship. So beautiful, says Shiloh song music. Bianca says this song describes exactly how I've been feeling lately. That's what
Wow.
music does. It meets us right where we are. Enter Worship here with us on this edition of Red's Room. We asked this of Bob earlier. What guitars are you all strumming this evening?
Okay, so the first one was a Cole Clark.
Ah,
Cole, so it's an Australian.
yes.
They generally make acoustics, but they made a small run of electrics. Um,
Yes.
Fender Strat. It's an American Strat, which just I always wanted one, and Chrissy bought it for a present for me because she's a wonderful wife.
Yes.
Chris,
Oh, I
another
love the Strats. Yes.
Australian guitar, the Maton. Chrissy's got
Oh,
808 for those playing at home. And Kerry
all
is
right.
playing Clark acoustic. So apart from I just realised, apart from the Fender, it's a very Australian
It's very
centric.
Australian. Yes, it is. I see. I'm familiar with the Cole Clarks and the Cole
Yeah,
Clark sound only because a fellow Aussie who plays on Red's Room and over on Christian Media Spotlight, Hope Resounds, the
yes,
lead guitarist Craig, he primarily plays a Cole Clark, and so that's
yeah,
how I found out about their sound and all that. So awesome,
yeah.
you guys got a couple of Cole Clarks in your midst there. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
and funny enough, I think Maton actually or Cole Clark actually came out of the Maton. So the guy who started
Oh,
Cole
it came
Clark.
out of that line. Oh,
So it's sort of a bit of a Fender GNL type situation where I think they wanted to make their own stuff. But anyway, we love these guitars, and I've also got a Gibson acoustic, which is hidden in the case. I don't get out very much because I'm tending to play electric.
great
Um,
stuff.
and a very musical family. We've got a daughter, eldest daughter. She plays drums. Drum kit's just off to here. Bass guitars. Our youngest plays a bit of piano, and I'm quite excited that my eldest has also been teaching herself guitar
That's
as well.
awesome. That's
We
fantastic.
love it when the girls play music badly because we know they're experimenting towards playing really well, which is great.
Before we get into our last song tonight, and you, being the last artist of the night, you have the dubious distinction of playing the last song tonight. And by the way, Red says upon hearing that, so when are we gonna get to hear the family band
I
making
know.
it like a quartet, you
Yeah,
know?
our eldest is studying production and entertainment through school, and so she's with a massive, big schools production today from about 11 a.m.
Okay,
to
all right.
But she's very keen to play drums with us at some point. So maybe the next one we can get her to play a little bit of the cajon or rock box. And our youngest isn't too keen to play publicly, but we're working on her. Usually just staple gun her to the ground, and she doesn't have a chance to move. And
Hey, before we get into our last song of the night or the day, as it were, for you guys, speaking of comfort chairs, as we just talked about a moment ago, kind of speaks to where obviously some of the listeners and watchers are at this time of their season. It might speak to where you guys are in certain ways at this time of your season, but certainly may speak to where you were when you first collectively came together as a group. Did you ever think that when you first started really doing this at the start of the pandemic, what was, I'm sure like, I'm sure like what I thought was some different things, and so did Red, that well, is this a COVID thing, or is this oh, you guys are calling me to do this something more lasting here? Did you ever think that this musical endeavor that you started at the outset of the pandemic would turn into something so wonderful and beautiful as something as the three of you are doing right now? Did you have any idea then that it would progress this wonderfully and naturally this direction?
No. uh, I mean, I had tried to form bands when I was younger, and nothing ever is sort of stuck. Like, I'd have people who they'd love to play every now and again, but nobody really wanted to commit to anything. And I was kind of like, oh, I want to be like you too. They've been together for 50 years, and like it's always been the same band members, and they've done life together, and that was kind of my thing that I wanted. And like I actually said that to one person, and like they just ran a mile. It was like, hey, I want commitment, but no. Um, So like I came to think, oh well, it's people don't want to do that, so that's what where it's at. But then when we met Kerry, it happened so naturally and organically, and like I never even had to ask her if she wanted to stay. It just
happened.
kept
Just
happening.
kept hanging out.
Actually, it was interesting because we were doing a conference a couple of hours away, and it was like 5 sessions over the weekend, like worshiping till midnight on a Friday night. It was amazing, and it was we'd had Kerry join us for like a soaking worship night, which was sort of more worshipful through the night, prayer and ministry. And Kerry had joined us, and so we then invited to this ministry weekend, and Chrissy just looked at me and said, I think Kerry's the one. She's part of it. She should join us. And so we asked her, and it was really cool because Kerry, unbeknownst to us, she'd had a word given to her that she'd be touring with a band. And when we turned up in her church one time, God's like, yeah, that's them. So Kerry knew she was going to be part of this. This was after COVID, and watching her shift from being they were into worship, as in Chrissy and I, to we were into worship. She was including herself quite quickly, so even that felt really natural. So we're just really grateful the way God brought the three of us together, and there is that synergy, and now it's almost hard when I think we've only had others join us a couple of times, and it's almost quite hard to have other band members or singers because we I think we've just, each of us brings something slightly different and complementary, and even our vocal styles, our playing, and even our giftings is just it's just so different, and we just crave those moments of worship where we have and I say crave because it's like those Holy Spirit moments where we feel so honored and humbled that God uses us in this way. But this is one thing in a live stream, but in the room, as you'd all would have experienced, I'm sure, when God's moving in a room full of people, and we have seen people set free from bondage, from demons, from depression, and it's just such a privilege to be part of that. And so we're willing to be used where God goes, and we know this season has been a quiet one and musically for us, but we've actually planned a songwriting retreat in a couple of weeks. So we are looking forward to, I guess, getting back into things as a trio and just seeing where God's going to use us. So we feel privileged to be doing what He calls us to do and when He calls us to do it.
Yeah.
Amazing, says Olga. Great to have everyone with us tonight. Now, last song, last artist of the night. You guys have the dubious distinction of playing our last song. What do you have to end this great night of worship with here on Red's Room? What's your final number tonight?
So our last song is called You Cover Me, and we haven't recorded this song yet, but we hope to in the future. But it's a song that I actually wrote for someone I know who was struggling with addiction and mental health issues, and they're actually in hospital. And they were just on my heart, and this song just came out. And it was so cool because the week after I wrote this song, I just happened to be on worship. I think Jeff was on, and he was short on people, so I just, offered to help out. And the guy who got up and preached, he was a visiting preacher. He started talking about letting God into the corners of our heart. And that was the exact lyric that I'd written in the chorus of this song. You cover me deep in the corners of my heart, deep in the crevice of my soul. Your love is taking a hold. And as soon as he said that, I started to get all nervous, and I was like, oh, I have to get up and do this song. And I think I finished it, and I think I can remember it. And it was just good that I was in a situation where I already had my guitar there and I could just get up and sing it. And it's so powerful when God moves in those ways, because even though I was nervous, then I had to get out of my comfort chair, literally. They're the times where we step into the miraculous.
Yeah.
they're the times when we rely on God, and He just moved through that room.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was really like it's a moment I'll never forget, and it's just so precious how God can work through us through songs and touch
Man.
people. And, yeah, it was just really special. Yeah. So yeah, this is the song "You Cover Me."
Find me where you see I'm standing. Find me where you see I am. Jesus, bring you understanding of who I see that I am. Find me where there's things I'm hiding. Find me where shame has come in. We can face all things together, like broken dreams, like hidden sin. And you cover me deep in the corners of my heart, deep in the crevice of my soul. Your love is taking hold. Traumas are deep in the corners of my heart, deep in the crevice of my soul. Your love is taking hold. Oh.
What a great time of worship. Bringing this night musically to a close. Guys, where can we continue to connect up with you to find out more about your music, to stay connected with what you've got going on as a group and as a band? What are some of the best ways that we can do that?
Probably the best way is on Facebook. Just search for Enter Worship or Enter Worship Ministries. I can't remember which one, but just search for Enter Worship.
Enter Worship is Facebook, and
Facebook.
Enter Worship Ministries Instagram.
Yes. Okay. Cool. That's what she said. And we have released 4 songs. We haven't done them tonight, but there's some songs we've released on an EP that's on Spotify and Apple Music. But I just want to encourage people. I just would encourage you, if you want to check out a song called "Teach Me." It's probably one of the most well-received tracks we've done, and it came out of COVID, sort of towards the end of COVID. And it is just a beautiful song, and it's probably one of our favorites to do. So if you look for on Apple, I know if you search "Teach Me, Enter Worship," you'll find that one. And we'd love to connect with people. So feel free to hit us up.
Well, I will make sure we add that to our Christian Media Spotlight Radio Network repertoire, and probably we'll play it as part of our new to the network block tomorrow. We're planning on doing a remote from Ocean Shores Convention Center tomorrow, and so we'll definitely throw that one there. So you look forward to hearing some. So yes, you'll hear some more Aussie music on our network, Bianca. I'm sure that will make you happy over there. So great to connect with. Monica was saying as well, I love the story you shared about how you became a group. It was meant to be. Love this song. So pretty, definitely. Let's go ahead, and before we have our nightly visit with Red and have our pray out of the night, let's go ahead and pray for our guests and to worship as well. Lord, we just thank you for this group. We thank you for bringing them together, as the saying goes, for times such as this. We thank you that your timing was just so wonderful, that you've brought this trio of musicians together to be a light for the folks in Australia, but as through the power of technology and streaming and live streams, their music can reach it all across the globe, here in the States and beyond. And I would just thank you that you will continue to bond this group together in you, Lord. And we just thank you that they'll continue to write harmonies and lyrics and music that will continue to touch, inspire, and impact people. And we just thank you that you're working through them, that you will continue to provide them for them personally and professionally. And for Jeff as well, just ask that you can just continue to bring him healing, continue to heal him as you see fit, Lord, because you are Jehovah Rapha, you are our healer. And so, Lord, I just ask that you just continue to do a healing work in him, so that they are able to do the things that you've called them to do. And we thank you for the ability to do that. We thank you for them to be able to join us here, closing out this wonderful night of Redstone. We just thank you for this night. We thank you for this time in worship. And we just thank you for everything you're doing. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. Guys, thank you for a tremendous time of songs, of stories, of worship. Appreciate everything you guys are doing. Thank you for joining us here on Redstone.